Welcome to Milo Performance Education. Today I want to show you guys the Glute Ham Raise. It's a great exercise for the hamstring, but it's a very tough one. It's a close chain exercise where there's a lot of pressure in your knee because you're hanging with your full body weight just on a single joint. When a client starts with this exercise, he can tell you that it's not feeling nice in the calves, you're feeling a lot of pressure in his knee, which is all fine and very understandable. If you start with this exercise, build it up very slowly. So I'm going to show you guys the first regression of the starting point of the glute ham raise. What we're going to do is let Sefton come into an angle of 90 degrees, where he holds his hamstrings at the back, creating leverage from his hands to the back. What he's going to do now is dive over the cushions of the glute ham raise all the way down until his knees are fully extended, and then he's just gonna flex his knees when coming up, staying very close to the cushion. This is a great way to start and the easiest variations of all the glute ham raise variations. Alright, then we're gonna dive into a progression of our first glute ham raise variation. In this progression, he's going to start in that 90-degree angle of his hips, where we're going to ask him to lengthen his whole body forward into a starting position of a back extension. Important here is that the abs are tight and my legs are fully extended. What he's going to do now is going to push his hips back towards the cushions. What I also like to do is give people a reference of the machine, that you want them to push their hips towards that machine. One more time, extending fully in a nice straight line, and then coming back to the cushion at the back, using his knee flexion to create a lot of tension on the hamstrings. We're at our final version of the glute ham raise. The glute ham raise we all do and love. Important to note here, if Sefton comes into that extended position, this is a starting position, but also the hamstrings have two primary functions: hip extension and knee flexion. If we do a perfect glute ham raise, we have the benefits of both. But what a lot of people tend to do though is they start in a nice hip extension, but when they come up they use momentum and actually extend the upper back instead of the hips during the exercise. So as a coach, be very aware that you go into that posterior pelvic tilt, go all the way down, back extension, extend the hips, and then flex the knees. It's a really tough version, so use the regressions we talked about before, but if you can get to this variation of the glute ham raise, you reap the benefits.